Okay. We're sitting at 2,000, which is where it needs to be. Again, you have to keep apologizing for this, folks. No idea why this keeps happening.
Very peculiar.
Like, I legitimately, earlier today, I replaced our router, and it's a new fucking router.
Sounds like it should work.
It does. Alright, it's been sitting there for a second. Let's give it a few more seconds. Jesus and Jehoshaphat Fats. We'll figure it. We'll figure it out eventually.
One of these days. Are we back? I don't know, Nightmare. You're supposed to tell us that.
We're trying. We're trying. I think we're okay for a second.
Hmm.
You know, there are attempts being made.
Top men are on the assignment. Top men.
We'll get there eventually. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. We'll shit the bed. We'll bed the shit. You know, we'll figure things out. Well, shit your pants. We'll pants your shit.
Well, shit on your cock and balls. We'll do it.
We'll cock and shit on your balls and tits.
Mm-hmm.
Tits and tits and tits.
Boingo strategy creating the thumbnail.
Good. Oh, man.
Well, I think it's working now.
Okay. For the last, hopefully, time, Kevin Feige reveals Marvel Studios' secret formula.
Yeah, okay. So if we're going to actually talk about this now, we kind of have to go back. We have to go back, Samurai Jack. So let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Because every week on this fucking podcast, for like the last year, you and I have gone on this rant saying, like, people need to stop saying there's a Marvel formula or that things don't make sense right now and that's a bad thing because this is just how comics work, and when you're adapting comics it's only going to naturally feel the same way sometimes. And just recently, Kevin Feige has been doing a whole rash of formulas that prove that notion right. Right in the same week when I made a goddamn main channel video about it, and 2 out of the 3 commenters I got said I was crazy. I'm not crazy. Y'all are crazy. Kevin Feige himself admits that this shit is hard, and you're kind of making it up as you go along.
He's also just saying, like, there is no real formula. We stumbled into this, guys.
We're doing what we think works for each character as we go. We're working off of 80 plus years of history, adapting it into film, and just doing the best we can to give you an engaging story with that.
Like, I am surprised it didn't see any actual criticisms of the Moon Knight show of just like, why didn't he call Dracula a nerd? Why wasn't he fun and sassy? It's like, because that's never been Moon Knight. That's a meme. Someone made that up.
Mm-hmm. The only criticisms I saw of the Moon Knight show, which was months after we finished talking about it, was just I saw some comic YouTubers say they didn't like it because it didn't feel like the comics in that it wasn't a street level superhero thing. it was more about like globetrotting, dealing with Egyptian gods. But I had fun with that. It was a fun show. It was good.
And
Moon Knight was good. Get over it.
Here's the thing. There are several runs of Moon Knight where he does just that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not unfounded for the character. Basically what we're saying is piss off, dumbasses.
Get good, casuals.
Get good, Cash. Like, you gotta level up your fight, man. You gotta go into the training room.
You gotta read them fan wikis. You gotta
combos.
Open a goddamn comic book and read it with your fucking eyeballs.
Yeah, but that takes work and effort. Fuck you.
So does everything worth doing in life.
Hey, Captain America: New World Order has a new cast member.
Yeah, this was very interesting because apparently this actress has a lot of critical acclaim from things she's been in recently. But I went and looked at her IMDb and like she's been in a bunch of stuff I wanted to see but ended up not having time for. But she's not been in anything I've actually seen. So she's just an actress I've apparently missed a bunch of times.
Her recent screen credits includes Space Jam: A New Legacy, Black Monday, and Atlanta.
Well, I know one of those things is good. People tell me Atlanta is very good.
Oh yeah, but it's also very. How's the best way to describe it? I got a picture of the actress, by the way. There she is.
Yeah, look at that lady.
Very pretty lady.
Mm-hmm.
Not that actresses are only.
A name I'm not even going to try and pronounce.
I'd say it's Zosha.
Possibly.
Zosha Rockmore. That's what I'd go with. And we'll learn the pronunciation when she goes on the interview circuit.
She was LeBron's wife?
Fictional wife or real world wife?
I'm assuming fictional wife, because Buster also, of course, piped up at the mention of Space Jam 2.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Best known for Joanne and Precious and Tamira and Mindy Project. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've heard of the Mindy Project, but I've never wanted to watch it, honestly. There's never been anything that enticed me to check that out.
Especially considering that the star of Mindy was the fucking person who, like, is the figurehead of Velma.
Oh no.
And, like, I saw some people saying, like, oh, don't blame her. It's written by a white man. It's just like, guys, she put her name on the fucking paper. And besides, she said some shitty things other places that no one batted a second eye that she would be the person spearheading all the dumb shit in Velma.
Also, everything I heard about it was that, like, it was a star vehicle specifically made for her.
Yeah. Like, guys, sometimes you can blame the brown woman.
Yeah, I guess check out Atlanta at some point, Buster.
I've heard it's basically very neo-soul psychedelic kind of show.
Those are words.
Neo-soul is a kind of, I would say it's an artistic movement to kind of like revitalize like the soul genre of music and that kind of vibe and concept. Psychedelia is also just trippy, surreal visuals and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like neo soul and psychedelia put together in a comedy drama.
And here's how I tie it back to comic books. Oh, it's psychedelic, so it's like Doctor Strange.
I'd say it's more Grant Morrison.
Hmm.
Speaking of Grant Morrison, who wrote the X-Men Deadpool 3, Hugh Jackman's latest post has Wolverine's fans very excited.
Yep, because Hugh Jackman is teasing the suit. They know it. They know we want it. They know we want it. So if they don't give it to us, I'm going to feel fully justified being pissed off now.
Here's the thing. They're going to give it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point in time, it's not like, oh, it's weird and cringe to have a superhero costume. It's like, no, you're given accolades for getting a more comic book accurate superhero suit.
Yeah.
for at least the live action, all his action scenes. Here's the thing. Here's what I would love. He wears a modified version of it for like the first half of the movie, and then the final half of the movie, he is full on classic Wolverine.
Yeah, he gets like an upgrade halfway through.
Like it's sort of there. He wears a helmet and it has like the like you do the Wolverine suit that they would have done 2008, 2009. Like how they did Hawkeye and shit.
Like he doesn't have to wear the cowl for the whole movie, just the action scenes. I'm fine if he's like doing the cowl down thing for all the dialogue and like eating the sandwich scenes.
No, what I'm saying is like it starts off looking like the 2008, 2010 one. Like if they made the costume then, and then Deadpool just looks at him and goes like, "Nah, man, nah, bitch, it's 2024. Get that real shit there." What are you talking about? Which one are you going with? Yellow and blue, yellow and black? Are you going with the orange brown number? It's a personal favorite of mine. We're both in X-Force. Are we going black and gray? What are you talking about, Deadpool? Oh.
Are you or are you not going to have CGI eyeballs like me?
And then he just doesn't sell that joke. And at the end, when they're in the final action scene, they're back to back. And Wolverine just pops his claws and goes, "Are you ready, bub?" And one of his eyebrows raise. And Deadpool just goes like, "Oh, that's so cool." Deadpool, Boingo would be a unique but fun Deadpool. I'm what Deadpool should be like more often. Just funny and goofy and not an asshole.
Deadpool's not an asshole. He's a nice guy who has to be an asshole because of his line of work.
Yeah. But overall, we're probably going to get the suit. We're probably going to get the suit. Oh, Lord, don't let me down now. And, real quick, I'm getting some more links because there's only one in the next section.
Yeah, it was a bit of a lean week, except for one particular area.
Yeah. Hold on. Boop. There we go. So things just keep happening to the people running these comic book franchise movie things.
There keeps being massive amounts of drama out of literally nothing that I feel like we have to talk about on the show.
James Gunn basically has to explain how you cast people.
Because apparently DC fans have become so deluded and dumb by association to Zack Snyder that we don't even understand how movies are actually supposed to work anymore. Because James Gunn gave an interview, or no, it was literally just a tweet thing where I didn't read the first one, Buster. I'm not going to read the second one. But there was literally just a tweet where James Gunn was asked, like, "Hey, do you think you're going to bring any of the Guardians of the Galaxy cast into the DC universe?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm sure. I'd love to work with them all again. So if I can get them in there, I'll definitely do that." And everybody flipped out and thought like, "Oh my God, they're going to make what's his face who plays Star-Lord Superman. This is horrible." And it's like, no, he didn't say that. And he had to come back and explain, "No, I did not say that. We have a lot of roles to cast, some of which will be people you've seen before, some of which will be my friends, some of which will be people you've never seen before, because that's how casting works."
And here's the thing, guys. Guardians of the Galaxy made those people stars, and Warner Brothers might want some stars to play their characters.
Yeah.
Fucking what?
It's almost like there's a logic to this. And fucking James Gunn is friends with most of those people for a good reason, because he liked working with them. James Gunn is one of those director-writer guys who's known for casting his friends usually, but that's because if he likes working with somebody, he's gonna stay friends with them. He's not a fake Hollywood asshole. He has a huge friend network.
Because he started on the independent scene, and he's used to not having connections. You use what you got.
Like,
Yeah, this is that waffles thing. It's like, I really like waffles. What do you mean people who eat pancakes are Nazis? That is literally a completely different sentence.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like, everybody needs to calm the hell down
Yeah.
about everything James Gunn says, as I have said for like 8 previous times on this podcast.
Let the man fucking work.
Yeah. If he look, I'm not exactly excited about the idea, but if he wants to grant Michael Rosenbaum's wish and make him play Old Man Lex in this new universe, sure, fine. I trust his judgment as of now.
Here's the thing, put him in a red wig and make him Lex's father.
Yeah? I think we've talked about this before. He would
Probably.
make a great Lionel Luthor
He would make a
now.
great Lionel Luthor now. But, like, the one thing I think the DC fans are like, they don't know how good they have it, of just James Gunn is here to, like, correct the nonsense.
There's finally a Kevin Feige at DC. DC has been saying they were looking for their Kevin Feige for a decade and a half. Even when Snyder was making all the movies, they were very insistent about, like, oh no, he's not our Kevin Feige. We're still looking for our Kevin Feige. We finally have one. Let's wait and see how he fucking does before we critique every goddamn thing he says.
Also, he's so willing to fucking engage with fans and, like, correct misinformation and say, like, hey, like, we don't have any concrete plans yet, but I can tell you some things for certain. That's a no, that's a no, that's a no.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Buster makes a great point in the chat. He's literally fucking the Simon Bennett of DC right now. He's putting up with so much bullshit on Twitter for the sake of promoting the show and getting the correct information out there as fast as possible. And he doesn't have to do that. James Gunn and Simon Bennett could fucking delete their Twitters tomorrow, and I wouldn't blame them at all because of all the bullshit they go through on a daily basis.
I think James Gunn takes a little bit of satisfaction of dunking on Snyder fans, though.
Probably.
Of like, James Gunn's a piece of shit. And it's like, fucking here's the information, dipshit.
Mm-hmm. Did Zach ever give you this? No, Zach just posted photos of the Batmobile and went, oh, isn't this cool? It has guns on it.
Hello, Nightmare.
Welcome back, Nightmare. The show is working now.
Yes. Here's the thing. Chris Pratt could play someone in the DC universe.
Chris Pratt would be an okay Guy Gardner.
Chris Pratt would be an okay Guy Gardner. I know some people would hate me for this. I think he would be an okay Booster Gold.
I could see it, yeah.
He would also be here's the thing. He's not great. He wouldn't be great in any of these roles. He would be an okay Booster Gold, an okay Ted Kord.
No, I wouldn't want him as Ted Kord.
I'm not saying you would want him as Ted Kord. I'm just saying he could. That's the thing about Chris Pratt. No, the Buster. You got to recognize the thing about Chris Pratt is he is an actor who gets an okay performance and takes direction really fucking well.
Also, he's like the reason he would be okay for Booster is he's known for playing loud, cheesy assholes and being good at action. That's a very basic description of the kind of actor you need for Booster Gold. Same thing for Guy Gardner.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he'd be great at it. There's hundreds of actors who would be better for both of those roles. Who would be perfect for those roles.
But if you gotta have a name actor, you could do worse.
Like, you know, name brand is fine. It's fine to eat Walmart brand fucking bread.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's what he is. Hey!
He's great value Nathan Fillion.
He's Nathan Fillion for today's year.
God, remember back when everybody was wanting Nathan Fillion to play Hal Jordan before Ryan Reynolds got cast?
Here's the thing: if he was a younger man, yeah, Nathan Fillion can do it. If it was Firefly era Nathan to play Hal Jordan, he could fucking nail that. You know?
Yeah. It's just so crazy thinking about how far we've gotten from that time.
Guys, they turned Chaos from Sonic into an anime girl.
Cool.
Not surprised.
What are those words?
I understand it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Hey, guess what? We got some comic book news.
Oh, hey, the best kind of
A
news.
lot of it coming out from Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel's been announcing a ton of shit in the last week.
Well, I mean, we did just come out of a very big status quo shaking event, so it's kind of like, okay, let's do some things. They're ending Jason Aaron's ending his Avengers run. We need to put some energy into that, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Fan artists do it all the time. Yeah, they do. uh Marvel reveals a new lineup for the Avengers, and it's going pretty classic.
Yeah, we're going back to a very classic looking lineup with new writer artist duo of Jed McKay and CF Villa, who is the same team, who is the same artist that Jed McKay had on all his Black Cat books.
And those are pretty beautiful books.
So I'm cautiously excited about this run. Obviously, we aren't big fans of Jason Aaron's Avengers, so much like Dan Slott getting off Fantastic Four, I'm excited to give an Avengers book a try again, especially because this is a lineup of people I mostly know and like. We got Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel is going to be the new de facto team leader, they've said in the press release.
Mm-hmm.
For Iron Man, Tony Stark. You got Captain America,
Sam
Sam
Wilson.
Wilson. You got Vision and Scarlet Witch and Black Panther. All there looking resplendent and heroic. And yeah, it's a solid lineup. I'm definitely interested to give it a shot.
It is a very classic styled lineup. It is very evocative of like the Wade era.
Mm-hmm. Sam's really the odd man out here.
Sam and Carol, I'd say.
Well, Carol's kind of a classic Avengers character.
To an extent, she is, but like not in this role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and definitely not as leader.
But like, it seems very evocative of like that late '90s era of the Avengers, which a lot of people really like.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of harkening to All New, All Different with Sam Wilson, because I definitely feel like he's going to play a big part of the team, considering he's like in the center of the art.
Yeah. I gotta tell you though, I am just most interested to see how Jed McKay writes current Scarlet Witch and Vision, because I think this is the first time they're gonna be regulars in a book together since Tom King's Vision and all the Krakoa shit.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing: a thing in the last Scarlet Witch book, in the new Scarlet Witch book, the first issue, Viv Vision walks through the door, and Scarlet goes like, "She's kind of my daughter." To an
Yeah,
extent, like
I'm gonna be reading that in next issue just to see how they play that.
like if they lean into like maybe they're gonna reconcile, maybe like they're in a better place, both of them mentally. Who knows?
Maybe.
Hey, speaking of Black Panther though, it's getting a series relaunch, which is understandable. This recent run has been very controversial.
And confusing for people who aren't reading it.
Yep. New Black Panther.
Uh, is this still gonna be T'Challa? Is what's going on here? I don't know.
Let's see. Current story arc revealed T'Challa's no other story arc. We do know a creative team stepping down for a new volume. Black Panther relaunching #1, even though his opening story arc is being kept under wraps. Comicbook.com did speak with Ev Ewing via email to get her thoughts on getting Black Panther gig. Also revealed Black Poster. Yeah, it's just basically like it's T'Challa. They're just doing different, something new.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll give this a shot as well too. Interesting that name though. I've never heard of Eve L. Ewing. Do you think she's related to Al Ewing?
I have no idea.
I'll have to look that up.
But hey, we also got Loki getting a new mini to tie into Loki Part 2 of Season 1.
Yeah, basically just gonna be a big fun romp of Loki interacting with a bunch of variants, and it's coming from a bunch of creators whose names I just do not recognize.
This seems,
Daniel,
yeah, this seems
Dan,
like this seems like a very much a book where they get all the new writers and go like, this is a promotional tie-in. It doesn't need to be super like impactful on anything. Give this a go.
get your feet wet, have some fun, see what you have to say about this character.
Yeah.
So probably not gonna check it out, but could be interesting.
Oh yeah, it definitely seems like it's going to be the kind of book that people are going to pick panels and go like, oh, ooh, cute.
Hmm.
You know.
Especially if it introduces a 616 Sylvie.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'm trying to see who the. Well, we got a new Venom event.
Yeah, Death of Venomverse is coming, and those are words.
Yep, I can see how it ties into how the story's going on in Venom, but
Hmm.
I definitely think this may also tie into Deadpool.
Interesting.
I'll explain when we get to Deadpool, but who knows? Also considering just a lot. I've talked about Venom on here. There's a lot
Yeah,
of things that like this can. It makes sense to do this. I also just don't want them to end the King in Black status quo.
yeah. Also, there's like no creators specifically attached to this yet, which is weird.
Yeah, it may just be the Venom creative team.
It may be.
You know. We also have a Wolverine Ghost Rider crossover.
Yeah, what is it? Weapons of Vengeance is coming, and I feel like we saw that on Marvel's event timeline a little while ago, but this is just kind of official confirmation, and this looks like stupid fun. This will
Yeah.
be a nice little thing. I don't
Some
expect it to go anywhere.
sometimes you need popcorn events.
Hmm. Although that's being said, this is written by Benjamin Percy, who's isn't he currently doing the Wolverine ongoing?
I think he is. Yes.
Okay, so this might actually affect some shit.
Let me look real quick. I can give it a check. I can
Yeah,
give it a check. Say.
I can check. I can Quentin Beck.
Mm-hmm. Quentin Tarantino. Feet.
Hmm. I can Quantum of Solace.
Oh my God. We can Solace of Quantum.
Mm, the
Uh.
worst James Bond movie.
um. He's doing X Force and he's doing Wolverine.
Yep. Okay, so this will probably matter. This is probably something I'll check out.
Yeah. I mean, the Wolverine book's been solid.
Hmm. It has
Wolverine book's been
been
real good.
very solid.
We also have new Ghost Rider series starring Danny Ketch.
Yeah. Wasn't that like a big reveal recently that Danny Ketch is still alive?
Yeah. Danny Ketch is
Cool.
going to be pissed that Johnny Blaze has a goth girlfriend now.
Yeah. And he's coming back to tell you all about it in his new mini, which is also written by Benjamin Percy in March of this year. So
I'm so glad
Benjamin,
we're in a Ghost Rider revival era right now. Because Ghost Rider's been a
mhm,
top-notch book, in my opinion.
yeah, was Percy writing that book that just wrapped up?
Which book that just read? The Ghost Rider book?
Yeah.
The Ghost Rider book's still going.
Oh, okay. Who's writing that?
Let me see. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Let me see if I can
Oh
get
boy.
there. Let me see if I can get there.
Let us see if he can get hair.
I mean, I can get here. I mean, look at me. I'm Santa Claus.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll hold it for a second so you can see it. Because I just haven't turned it off yet. It was for Christmas and I didn't turn it off.
Boingo claws.
Ba, 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 ba. Benjamin Percy's writing Ghost Rider.
Okay.
They're
So
doing a
this is
Kate.
currently just the expansion of the Percyverse going on here.
You know what? You know what? I am perfectly fine with creators who are writing multiple books just going like, "Fuck it, I'm doing a crossover."
Yeah,
Because
that's always fun.
Danny Cates did one with Banner of War,
Yeah.
and and Venom and Thor doing a thing. It's good.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, I trust that a lot more than I do. Hey, there's a big Batman storyline going on. Every Batman related book has to tie into it this month.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? It's time for
What?
some DC comic book news.
Oh!
But this one's about Electric Blue Superman.
Yeah.
We got a different we have a different sketch design that it could have been. Dan
Yeah,
Jurgens released some old art.
yeah, Dan Jerkins was basically clearing out his desk and he went, "Oh shit, I remember this sketch. I think this was for that thing. Here you go." Because he was working on a storyline called Superman Transformed back in the 90s when that basically got taken out of his hands by DC and turned into Electric Blue Superman.
Yeah.
Um, so this is kind of what he was originally thinking, and I don't hate this costume. Uh, it's definitely very emblematic of its time, but it really works, I think.
Here's the thing. This works really well as like a Superman Beyond costume.
Hmm.
Like in the cyberpunk future, this is Superman.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
Also, I just can't tell what the color would the black be red?
Maybe.
I don't know. Like the colors are like it's great in black and white.
Actually, you know what? It would work better if it was the white is actually red and then the black is blue.
Maybe. Or maybe it is like how Electric Blue Superman was and the white is white and the darker color is blue.
Hmm. Or it's just like varying shades of blue.
Who
But yeah,
knows?
it does work really well as a black and white drawing. This reminds me of like some older indie books I've perused.
Oh yeah, it's really good. And hey, guess what? DC's
What?
doing a free comic book day shit. Look at all these books that they're gonna be selling.
Yeah, one book in specific is what they're promoting here. They're doing a big Dawn of DC special, which is going to be 32 pages long and is probably going to have like 2-page previews of every big storyline that's going to be kicking off post Free Comic Book Day. Mainly surrounding, I'm guessing, all those heroes that are on the cover there.
Yeah.
Uh, and that'll probably be interesting. I don't know if I'll actually do Free Comic Book Day this year. It's probably the safest it's been to actually do it in a long time, but I don't like crowds.
I like the wraparound cover,
Yeah.
because like you see the old guard and the new guard on the back.
Hmm. It's a very nice layout of sorts.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's kind of it for DC comic news. And guess what?
Yeah, that's it. It's a thing that's happening.
You fucking put some Tokusatsu news on the thing.
Well, I wasn't sure where to put this exactly. I had thought Twit, but we don't generally cover non-live action Toku news on here.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also technically a comics thing. There's a fucking manga about making tokusatsu that's going to start up in the next couple weeks,
Yeah. It,
which looks to be just the cute girls doing cute things genre doing a tokusatsu theme series.
there's probably gonna be some hints of Yuri.
Probably. Um, I don't know. It's just interesting how tokusatsu has kind of become sort of the flavor of the decade for anime and manga. Of
Mhm.
like every year, there's at least one major thing that's related to tokusatsu, and this seems to be the latest incarnation of that.
Yeah.
I can see this getting an adaptation next year, and people posting a bunch of stuff about it who wouldn't normally watch anime but are tokusatsu fans.
You know what I would do if I was in charge of adapting this into an anime?
What?
All the girl scenes are anime, but all the things they film, that's live action tokusatsu.
Oh my god, that would be cool. You'll like actually get Toei involved with it.
Like, I think that would be cute.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Hire
I could
me,
be down with
Japan. Hire me, Marvel. Hire me, Japan.
that. Hire me, the entire nation of Japan.
Hire me, Japan. We can fix your image problem.
That's a shirt.
Hey, they released more photos of the Franklin Valeria 2-pack.
Yeah, we talked about this back when they revealed Franklin at the end of the year. But just recently we got the full reveal of, yeah, it is a 2-pack, and yeah, the other figure is Valeria. And these look fine.
Yeah.
They're what can you say? They're new heads on the same male and female bodies we've had for a while now. I think that's the same teenage female body they've been using since like Kamala Khan, and I'm pretty sure Franklin is on the Vulcan body, which is it's either that or it's the Ultimate Spider-Man body. The torso does look a little different than Vulcan, but it looks like a solid set. It's just versions of these characters I don't care about whatsoever. However, these are characters I do kind of care about. So, like, in the event we don't get another more classic version of them in the next couple of years, I might backtrack and get these just to have them on my shelf.
Yeah. They aren't the worst versions you can get, but it's also the slot stink.
Yeah. And it's also like it's understandable in that like it's the easiest versions of them to turn into action figures. They already have bodies that kind of fit these looks. Whereas if you go with any of the younger versions, you're gonna have to make whole new kid-sized bodies.
Yeah. They're teenagers now. It's fine. It's understandable.
That being said, though, I would love Hickman era like Future Foundation looks for them.
Oh, that'd be cool. But hey, you can't always get what you want. But you know what you can always get? More fucking Iron Man toys.
Yep. The Iron Man that was teased, the Avengers Iron Man Mark 6 by Free Zero.
That's 7.
At DLX it was teased last week, and now we have the full solicitations. And that is Iron Man from that movie. That is Iron Man from the first Avengers movie. Look at him do all his Iron Man things.
That is an Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fuck up an Iron Man toy at this point. It's the same thing over and over again.
And everybody will always buy it. It's like making an Optimus Prime or a red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger.
Can we be done with that, please?
No, that's never happening.
No, I mean just done with that news segment.
Oh, sure. Yeah, get that the fuck out of here. I don't care. I'm never going to buy this thing.
Well, I mean, we don't have the money to buy these expensive collector's toys.
Yeah, I don't. I've watched a few reviews of Iron Mans from that line. It doesn't look particularly appealing to me. It's a little too expensive. And also, this is the first suit design I kind of like that they've done. Like, I like the Iron Man suits in the MCU less and less as the movies go on because they look less and less like actual suits.
Hey.
Comics?
Tell the people about Power Rangers 104.
Oh my God, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 104. You put this just at the front so I could have an argument with Buster, didn't you?
No, it just happened that way. Argue with Buster.
Okay. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 104 by Melissa Flores and Calf Lobo. This was pretty good. I actually really liked this. Because this is getting back to the thing that I really liked about early Boom, where yes, we're doing original plot lines and we're playing with the canon a little bit, but it's all couched in pre-existing lore and we're reusing it and reworking it in interesting ways. And this even like recontextualizes some old Boom lore in a more satisfying way, because this issue is basically a big flashback story of what happened to Rita between the last time we saw her and when she came back at the start of this arc. We see her floating out in space in the dumpster and just thinking about all the shit she's been through in her life. And we kind of get this really interesting montage of little snippets of all we've seen of Rita in the Boom timeline up till now, and it all flows together so much better than it has actually reading those comics. Like nothing is retconned, but it's all played in a lot more natural way, seeing in its proper order. Um, but she is inevitably picked up by fucking Divatox. Divatox is in this book. Um, and she basically says, like, hey, your dad sent me to come find you because he knew you failed your mission and he wants you to help with something. So she takes him back to Master Vile, and we get a real cool nod to the Turbo movie where she's like, hey, I brought you your daughter. Are you going to pay me or what? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's already taken care of. I put that lava demon on this island, which is the island where fucking Larigo is in the Turbo movie, which is such cool attention to detail. And Master Vile basically goes like, all right, Rita, you're here. You can help me with this ritual I need to perform. I finally have it. I finally have the vessel we've been searching for all these years. And she's like, oh God, you've done this like 3 or 4 times. Rita went insane the last time you tried to do this. Don't fucking do this shit. Which a Rito Revolto name drop, just that made me so happy, because Rito Revolto is my favorite MMPR villain. He needs a Lightning Collection figure so bad. Um, but we get that establishment for why Rito is the way he is in the PR universe in general. And then we find out that the ritual Master Vile is talking about is bringing Dark Spectre to our universe. They need a vessel to put Dark Spectre's power into. And the vessel he's chosen this time is Alpha 1, which was the big reveal at the end of the last issue, that Alpha 1 is still active and he's involved in Rita's plans somehow.
Mhm.
And Rita is immediately like, this is not gonna fucking work. That's a robot. It's an outdated model. It's fucking insane. It doesn't even work the way it's supposed to anymore. What are you thinking? And he's like, no, no, no. Trust me. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. I've got it on good authority that this guy is the vessel we've been looking for. So we get a bunch of discussion, and they have like a dinner scene where Rita and Divatox are kind of discussing their mutual situations, and Rita kind of gets to exposit for the audience about why they need to do a ritual to bring Dark Spectre to our universe, which is basically the morphing grid is like poison to Dark Spectre, and he needs to cross through it to get to our universe, but he can't do it unless he has a vessel to shield him. And so that's why they have to perform this ritual to bring him back to the main PR universe and wreak havoc. And so they go to the Temple of Dark Spectre in fucking Master Vile's ridiculous head spaceship. That makes a little cameo in this. And then another little cameo, um, Dark Honda is there guarding his temple, and there's a little dialogue exchange where he's like, what is this, the 8th time you've attempted this, Master Vile? If it hasn't worked before, why is it going to work now? And he's like, well, I've got a different kind of vessel this time, and it's gonna work. Just trust me, everybody, it's gonna work. Master Vile is really played up as kind of delusional and full of himself in this, which is really interesting to see. It doesn't exactly clash with his classic portrayal. It's just like a new layer that you can very much see them that could have been there in the original show. But they attempt to perform the ritual, and of course it doesn't fucking work. And Rita is immediately like, okay, so we can all agree that Master Vile is like the worst general ever, right? Like she just starts throwing her dad under the bus in front of Dark Spectre and is like, "You should make me your general instead. If you give me the power that you've given to my dad, I will be able to conquer the whole universe in your name, and then you won't even need to come here to do that." And he's like, "All right, bet." And that's how she becomes Mistress Vile and gets the crazy new upgrade costume that she's been sporting recently. And she's also been like planting seeds this whole time in Alpha One's head of like, this might not be the best thing for you. Maybe you shouldn't go for this. So when it doesn't work and she gets the power for herself, he's immediately like, yeah, okay, I'm with you. I'm gonna be your new like right hand man. And they sneak off to another planet, and we see they're going to be freeing some person from the ice on that planet. They don't say who, but it's a very Ranger-esque silhouette, so I'm willing to bet it's somebody from the show that we haven't seen in the Boom universe before. Um, and then we flash forward to the present, where we see that Rita has been telling this story the whole time to Matt, who she has captive, while she's been performing some kind of spell on him and basically trying to break him mentally and say like, hey, you're abandoned, nobody cares for you in the same way I've never been cared for. Just like me, you're going to have to scratch and claw your way to the top. And it's heavily implied that she's planning to make Matt Master Vile's vessel in this new universe, which I think is a really cool use of a character who was kind of sticking out like a sore thumb for the last few arcs. Is like, why is this guy still here? And I'm very intrigued by if they're actually going to do that and what implications that will have for future stories. Like, it took a minute for Melissa Flores' run to get going, but now I'm like fully on board. This is the most engaged with the comics I've been since Shattered Grid.
Hell yeah. She looks like a tiger.
A little bit, yeah. She got them drippy horns. Also, I think Buster must have went to sleep because they haven't said a damn thing in chat this whole time.
Buster, you must argue with back.
Or like catch up on the comics yourself. You could do that too.
Oh yeah. Hold on, the button didn't work. I need to click the thing. I read Dark Web X-Men.
How was that?
This event's a comedy. That's the only way to fucking describe it. Because literally, Jean Grey and Madeline Pryor fight, and Jean Grey goes like, hey, whoa, we don't need to fight. And Madeline goes like, fuck you, and keeps fighting, until Jean Grey just like beats her down, and she goes like, alright, are you willing to listen now? What? Look, I will give you the memories. What? Like, just because I give them to you doesn't mean I lose them. We can share them. You're willing to do that? Why wouldn't I be willing to do that?
It's literally the fucking event comic equivalent of, you could have just asked.
Yeah, literally. And Jean Grey goes like, all right, here you go. And like, she gets all the memories of raising Cable. And like, she goes like, he was a little shit. I love him. And Jean goes like, yeah, he was a little shit. And they just like bond over the fact that they now have the memories of raising a person that they both feel like they're his mom.
Their boy.
And Madeline's crying. It's like, oh, thank you, Jean. And Jean goes like, hey, everybody deserves second chance. That's what the X-Men's about. And then Cyclops and Havoc come in, walking all the puppies that were surrounding Cyclops' visor so he couldn't bust his way out of prison. Madeline literally hung puppies around Scott's head with his visor gone, so if he opened his eyes, he would hurt the puppies.
That's insane.
So they're walking the dogs, and they come in, and they are like, is the situation handled? Yeah, situation's handled. Everything's better. Alright, cool. Madeline, you fucked some shit up. You gonna fix it? Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna fix it now. And like, that's the book.
Let's go grab Ben and Peter and fucking mind swap them.
Let's help them out.
Yeah, let's fix this shit before this shit gets even shittier and everybody has something to complain about on Twitter. Oh wait.
Um, Also, Havoc says like, "Yo, I didn't want to be an X-Men. I feel like I'd be better off helping you out, Madeline, and like helping you heal and everything." And Madeline's like, "Really? You do that for me?" He's like, "Yeah, of course I do that for you." And she's like, "Oh, people care about me. I was pushing people away when they were trying to help
I
me."
mean, Havoc literally spent an entire run fighting to get you brought back from the dead.
Yeah, Jean
So,
basically says that too. That's like, yeah, that's why I kept arguing to the council why you should be brought back. You did that? Yeah, you're a different person than me. Like, why does X-Men get to do my Spider-Man idea of the clones getting along and becoming siblings?
it's oh man. Maybe because Marvel trusts X-Men to make money without having weird shit happening.
Yeah, who knows? But that's what happens in that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Dark Web's a comedy. That's what this event is. It should be understood as a comedy. We both read Immortal X-Men.
This fucking issue, man.
This fucking issue essentially fixes Professor Xavier for the last 30 years.
I, it fixes him and then it immediately fucks him in the most glorious way.
Oh yeah, like let's just talk about the fixing because it basically recontextualizes everything Charles Xavier has done that's been fucked up forever.
It's just 22 pages of, oh, you think Chuck's been being weird and creepy recently? Well, he's been doing it for a good fucking reason. Look at things from his point of view.
He can literally mind fuck a person and that scares the shit out of him. He doesn't like doing it.
There's a whole page and a half where he's talking about fucking Legion and how, like, he's the most terrifying thing in the world to him next to himself.
Oh yeah. Like he looks at his son and sees himself.
Which what father doesn't?
Oh yeah. And the best fucking line is like I could solve mutant kind's problem immediately of just implanting a thought in every single human's mind to kill themselves on a specific day, and we never have to deal with humanity again. But that's fucked. That's not a solution.
That would be wrong, so I'm not gonna do that, Mark Millar.
And then he goes like, "You're worried that we may fall into a nuclear holocaust. Don't worry, we won't. I have implanted a thought in every single world leader's idea that if they ever wanted to push that button, they can't. And that is the only line I will cross in forcing people to do something."
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Which is simultaneously terrifying and badass.
right? Like, it doesn't fix Charles Xavier and like it redeems every action he's ever committed, but it just the context now. The characterization, the context, it's so good.
It shows that yes, he has become more of an ends justifies the means guy, but he still has lines he won't cross.
But also, like, he understands that what he's wanted is foolhardy and never going to be fully accomplished. Like, he describes it as Magneto had a plan. He had a goal. I had a dream.
That's such a good fucking distinction too. Of like, no. I understand what I'm asking for is impossible. You can't achieve perfection. It's just not a thing human beings are capable of. But we can always strive for it.
And
that's what I want.
That's Xavier. And like you still will see all of his actions and go like, Xavier, that's the wrong move. But you know why he's taking these moves. And then the rug is pulled out from under us and they stab us in the heart.
That fucking reveal, man. I was so like, oh man, I don't know if I even want to have to read Sins of Sinister. And now I'm like, well, I fucking gotta.
You fucking gotta read Sins of Sinister because he removes Cerebro And underneath Charles Xavier's helmet is the Sinister Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
So Nathaniel Essex has infected mutant kind with himself.
Mm-hmm. Right after they just threw him in the pit, and I dead ass was like, oh, is the first like 2 or 3 issues of Sins of Sinister gonna be him in there being tortured and then deciding to break out? No, it was a fucking ploy. It was him, Austin. It was him all along.
Have you seen the solicitations for the event?
No, I haven't.
Okay, they recreate the first bit of Hoxpox, and they did it with Emma Frost of like Charles Xavier over people coming out of the eggs and says, "To me, my X-Men." And then Emma did it, "To me, my X-Men," and they have Mr. Sinister do it, and he says, "To me, my me's."
Oh my god.
Such a sinister line. God, X-Men's so
That
good.
event's gonna be fucking insane.
X-Men's so fucking good.
I love how people for months have just been going like, it's not the same without Hickman. They're clearly running out of ideas and they're stumbling and they're just trying to make this last for as long as they can. And the whole time we've been going like, no, that they say they're going off of Hickman's notes. They just had a slight creative difference and we're still going to get to his end game. And here we fucking are. Some of the best X-Men comics in years are fucking coming out right now.
Mm-hmm. And some of the best X-Men books that you like, people aren't even reading, like Legion of X. I don't know how many people are reading that.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, it's not for lack of trying. I want to be in the Legion of X. It's just a little too heady for me.
Yeah, that's just the problem with some X-Men books. They get really heady.
Mm-hmm.
I read all of Monkey Prince.
Oh, okay.
I read all 10 issues.
I might do the same soon because I heard Supergirl was in a recent issue.
Supergirl has been in an arc, though I'm not sure you would like the characterization because basically they are definitely doing this is a young new hero who's rash and abrasive, and the older heroes aren't liking that, so they argue kind of trope.
Well, Kara does tend to argue with anybody before she gets on with them.
Yeah, I know. It's just like they did. I'm warning you. It is really good.
Nice.
Because I'm vaguely familiar with Journey to the West and all those stories.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of is at this point.
But like, I've dived in a little bit more, and basically, it's the son of the Monkey King being trained to be the new Monkey King by the friend by the friend of the Monkey King. And like, he has all the powers of the Monkey King from Journey to the West. He has like shape-shifting and strength, and he has the power pole, and he has he can remove hairs and make clones.
So it's essentially just doing another like a modern take on the whole for Wonder Woman adapt a classic mythology to our comic book universe thing.
Yeah, but it's also taking from a mythology we don't see. Like, we do see somewhat, but like in American comic books, we definitely take much more from the European side of mythology, and it's nice to see something else. You know?
Yeah.
Also, his parents are henchmen for a bunch of different bad guys.
Oh, wow.
And, like, he slowly learns it, and his grandfather is the Ultra Humanite.
Okay.
It's fucking great! Oh, man. It's good, solid shit. It's good, solid stuff.
Nice.
He is a fun character. He's definitely, if they play their cards right, he can definitely be a major player for DC to come. Also, good logo.
Yeah, it's coolio, Julio.
Yeah. I read Iron Man.
How was that?
It's Iron Man.
Oh boy.
It's fine. It's Iron Man.
How was Riri in this book? Was
okay?
She...
Don't believe the cover, because basically Riri comes to Tony as he's lying in the garbage because he got drugged. He did not take drugs. He got drugged.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh shit, you off the wagon? I didn't mean to be off the wagon. Someone fucked me up. Okay, let me get you out of here." And they have a little bit of an argument, and it's the same argument they've been having, but it's also gotten to the point where it's just like, I have to say this. Are you sure about the rings? I know you have to ask this. I'm sure about the rings. Those kind of things where like they disagree, but they care about each other, and they just want to make sure, like, I still disagree with this, but I'm letting you live, kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't read any of them, but I saw a lot of the panels from this issue on Tumblr, and it looked very much like a younger sister, older brother argument kind of issue.
Mm-hmm. And basically, people are pissed at Tony because he looked like he got drunk and was in the trash, and he's crashing stock prices. And Tony Stark goes like, "I'm not the head of Stark anymore. Why is it, you made the company? It looks bad on us." Well, maybe I need to call my friend because I've had a friend for forever who owns like a semi majority of the stock, and I can rely on him to help correct corporate ships. And then we cut to that friend, and he's dead in his chair. Someone killed him. Oh
dear.
It's Stark corporate bullshit in this book, which I don't mind. It's good shit. It's well written.
Nice.
It's just more Iron Man stuff. You like Iron Man? This is Iron Man.
Okay.
We both read Lazarus Planet: Assault on Krypton.
This was a lot.
This was a really solid set of short stories setting up a variety of characters. It's just not a good name for a book.
Yeah, because there's nothing to do with Krypton on this except that it features Superman characters.
But I do like what they did with Mercy. I do like this stuff they're setting up with Power Girl. John was cute. I like how he has a Catwoman now.
I love how everybody was seeing that and going like, "Oh my god, they're already getting rid of John's current boyfriend." I'm like, calm down. They're not going that far.
Hey, young superheroes, like having a black cat for a young superhero is a great idea. A person who's part of the life, who can tempt them and be like, "Oh, don't you want something different?" No, I need to like the person I'm in a relationship with, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But no, I did really like the Mercy story. It's the first time I've ever cared about comic Mercy. And same thing with the Power Girl story, where it's like, this is the first time I've ever cared about Power Girl, period. Some just really interesting character stuff for the two of them set up. And I'm actually kind of interested in that Power Girl ongoing that's going to be in Action Comics now. And, when we saw Mercy on the promotional image for Lazarus Planet, we were like, that's fucking weird. Why is she being put on a pedestal? And there's actually some cool justification for it here. I like her whole...
Because they're basically
turning her powers.
They're giving her the TV show Powers of Mercy.
Yeah.
They're giving her animated Mercy powers.
Which is fucking dope. Let's go with that. The only story I didn't really love is the opening one, just because there were like some real continuity issues where they literally halt the book to go like, "Wait, who the fuck are you, Dreamer?" And I'm like, literally every character in this room has met Dreamer before.
I don't even remember the story you're talking about.
The opening story where it's
like, I'm just saying, I remember John, I remember Mercy, I remember Power Girl. I don't remember that one.
Okay, so the opening story is Dreamer realizes shit is going down, and she goes to Batman's bedside where Kara and Damian are, and she's like, "Hey, I saw some shit was going down, so I hopped over here through Batman's dreams," and they're like, "Wait, what the fuck? Who are you?" And that's where we get that scene. And then there's just a lot of like weird discussion of what should be done, where Kara feels like weirdly abrasive in this. She feels a little too like, "No, we can't do that. We have to do this." Which I wouldn't expect her to be in this situation. I apologize. It's been a couple days since I read this, so I can't remember exact specifics. But then there's like a huge sequence of Dreamer going through the dreamscape to get to the current Dr. Fate helmet user and get the Dr. Fate helmet, and it just feels like a ridiculous out of your way fetch quest that we almost didn't need to go on. We probably could have found a much more organic way to get the Fate helmet back in the book.
Fair enough. But it's solid little just setup for a lot of different characters.
Mm-hmm. It's it's interesting. I don't love it, but it worked for what it was.
We both read Strange.
This issue was great.
This issue's a great end to the storyline we've been having.
Mm-hmm. Finally, our long mystical nightmare is over.
I didn't mind Clea as the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh yeah, well, I've said this several times. I didn't mind it. The book itself. I didn't mind the choice of putting Clea as Sorcerer Supreme. The book itself was just rarely engaging to me.
I really enjoyed this series. It's fine if you didn't.
Yeah, like the issues I've liked the most are like this issue, the previous issue, and I forget which one it was, but the Wong focus issue that we had.
Yeah. I'd say those are the more powerful issues. I think the first one, the one where we first met Harvestman was pretty good too.
Yeah, it was all right.
But they win with the power of love, heterosexual love.
This is such a fucking badass conclusion where literally all they have to do is kiss and they fucking Dragon Ball Z fuse into a fucking eternity like demigod that just obliterates the fuck out of the century.
It's great. And I love how Strange is just going like Steven's just going like, no, we shouldn't murder. But we could murder? Okay, fine, honey, little murder.
Damn it, Cleo, what did I say about murdering? Only when you're not looking? Correct.
And then like they unfuse and Death goes like, hey, Steven, you did your deal. Here you go, you're alive again. Really? That easy? Yeah, I'm gonna keep my fucking word. What do you think I am? A fucking bitch? Nah.
Yep. And I think next issue they're just changing the title, or is it a straight up back to #1?
I think it is a new #1.
Okay.
Because they are changing the title back to Doctor Strange. And we have our cast, and we have a new semi-status quo for Doctor Strange. He has his wife.
Yeah, Cleo's gonna stick around, and they're gonna deal with the whole Dark Dimension thing going forward, it looks like.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice to see somebody get to keep their marriage in Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we want to say about Strange?
It's pretty good.
Oh, also, the way they deal with most of the bad guys is they literally transport them into new lives and wipe their memory.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, that's how they deal with them. And they can't deal with the main bad guy because he's a racist presence. So they're just like, we can't send you to another place, so we kind of have to kill you.
Sorry.
Yeah. You read Nightwing 100.
Yeah.
How's the celebration? I saw the one panel that we need to talk about. The one, like the 1 page and a half.
So writing wise,
oh,
I feel like this was a really good like culmination of everything we've been doing since Taylor came on the book, and sets up a really interesting new status quo, and like also acknowledges the wider DC universe in a fun way. But good God, the art is annoying this issue, because they clearly wanted it to be mostly Bruno Redondo.
Uh-huh.
And he does draw a lot of it, but the art style changes almost like every 4 pages. Either from Bruno Redondo to a fill-in artist who's worked on Nightwing before, so it kind of makes sense, or back to him. But it's almost never in like a thematic way. It's always just like, okay, and now the art is different. The one time it works is there is a series of full-page spreads where Nightwing is leaping into the action, and it's played like a bunch of covers of like switching between the different eras of him being that character. Like you have him in the disco suit and it's a different artist. You have him in the classic suit, like the iconic suit, and it's a different artist. Then you have him in the New 52 suit. Then you have him in the suit from right at the start of Rebirth, and then you have him back into Bruno Redondo art, and that was pretty cool. But all the other times, it's just like, good God, DC, if it was going to take this long to draw, if it was going to take that long to draw the full, like, I think this is like an 80-page giant or something, delay the book or don't make it an 80-page giant. I'm fucking sick of these random art changes. Um, but I do like what is done here story wise again, because this is basically a big set piece book that opens with narration of Nightwing being like, there's this prison that's on the hill of the where the bridge that goes into Bloodhaven from Gotham directly connects. And it's like the first thing you see when you come into Bloodhaven, and it's like a blight on the city. It's really ugly. It's a very underfunded private prison, and people are mistreated there, and a lot of people are just in there awaiting their trial, and it takes forever to come, and the system is broken, yada yada hoo and then we see Heartless stage a massive break-in where he frees a bunch of the prisoners and is there for something very specific. And Nightwing has to leap into action to deal with it. And initially you think like, oh, this is going to be a look how badass Nightwing is on his own. He's able to take on an entire prison on his own. But no, the fucking Titans show up and start helping him. And there's like a cool everybody splits off into pairs kind of plan. We see Tony Zuko come back for a moment with Heartless trying to ingratiate him. Heartless sets KG Beast loose, so we get a cool Nightwing KG Beast fight, kind of playing off of their sort of kind of beef from him getting turned into Rick Grayson. And ultimately, Heartless does get away with whatever he's looking for, but they're able to round up most of the prisoners. And right as they're finishing up, Superman and Wonder Woman show up, and they're like, "Do you need a hand?" And Nightwing's like, "Nah, I think we got it," which is just fucking hilarious. Um, but then Wonder Woman is like, oh, all right, well, we did have an actual reason for coming here beyond that. We had meant to come talk to you today. You mind accompanying us to the Hall of Justice? And so we go to the ruins of the Hall of Justice from after Dark Crisis. And remember, at the end of Dark Crisis, there was a whole little setup of like Nightwing and Batman are going to be putting together the new Justice League. And this is sort of kind of a follow-up on that, where Superman and Wonder Woman go like, hey, we want you on the team. We want you to be part of whatever happens next with the Justice League, even though we don't really have a clear idea of what that's going to be yet. And he's like, well, thanks. That's a huge honor, but I've kind of already got my plate full. And they're like, oh, that's fine. But do you mind stepping up a little while we're rebuilding? And he's like, yeah, I think I have stuff and I'm working on that could fit into that role. Uh, and then we get this really nice, just little emotional scene of Bruce and Dick visiting Alfred's grave and kind of reminiscing and having a big "Hey, I love you, son. I love you too, Dad" moment, which was really cute. Um, and then we have the ending of the book, which is where we find out that Nightwing has used the Pennyworth Foundation to buy the prison because there was so much damage to it during the breakout, and the owners didn't want to pay to have it fixed, and the city was going to take forever to get the funds up. So he's like, fine, I'll buy it, and I'm going to get all these people into proper rehabilitative care, and I'm going to reuse this building, and I'm going to make the new Titan's Tower, because Titan's Tower was also destroyed in Dark Crisis. So now the fucking Titans are just like a hop skipping away from Bloodhaven, which is pretty cool and logical, I gotta say.
Yeah. So
Uh,
are you just saying Nightwing is doing what Daredevil's doing, but Daredevil's just doing it harder and edgier?
yeah, I think we've talked about this several times. Where Nightwing is literally just what if Daredevil was happy. That's the entire that is the entire impetus of Nightwing as a character.
What if Daredevil, but happy and well
Mhm.
adjusted?
And has friends who he constantly hangs out with and teams up with.
It's what if Daredevil didn't have Catholic guilt?
Mhm. Yeah.
What if Daredevil wasn't Catholic?
Now, what were the pages you were saying we really needed to talk
Oh, the
about?
Batman love one because they're just really sweet.
Yeah, this was really nice.
That's the ones. Those are the only
Like
ones I saw.
they kind of speak for themselves. Like
Yeah.
I saw people sharing them around, and I was like, "Yeah, those are good."
All right, next book, next comic. I read Hulk.
Oh boy.
They're about to play a sport that are Hulks, and basically they have to fucking throw a giant rock to leave the atmosphere, and they get a point for every asteroid it hits and destroys.
I realize it's more rooted in real artistic theory, but that big hand at the front of the cover there is giving me big Pat Lee vibes.
I mean, it's just foreshortening.
Hmm.
Um, and basically the interdimensional police people who the Hulk accidentally killed like way early on in the series come back and they go like, we're different versions, but we're here to solve the problem. And the Hulk fucking did things, and they were like, oh, the Hulk accidentally killed you. He didn't mean to. Oh, it was an accident. That's understandable. Danger comes with the thing, and then someone accidentally kills them. So more come because they don't know what's happening. All the while, the ball that they've been using, which is the core of a planet that they they turn into a ball for a sport, it
As you do.
got busted, and the interdimensional police people transport the Hulk, and the one Hulk person that's been like friendly to Bruce on this planet to another planet so they can be dealt with later, and they keep they keep coming in and being killed, and they'll until one of them comes in and goes like, whoa. It takes a long time for information to be crossed back dimensionally. We only just got the message of like surrender and all the misinformation. Truce. Okay, cool. Where's our buddies? Oh, they're on this one planet. We can get them back real quick. And they go to the planet and it's completely destroyed, and they have like a new ball, and they go like, we got a new ball. And that's the end of the issue.
Sick.
It's
That sounds fun.
It's fun. That's what this book is. It's fun.
This is fun. I'm having fun.
Yeah. You read Shazam.
The new champion of Shazam, in fact. This is the final issue of the big we're giving Mary the powers mini-series that they've been doing. And this guy's okay.
It ended well enough.
It ended well enough, but the last two issues of this book have had like a handful of things that have bugged me in them. Because the big reveal here at the end, where we finally get, oh hey, this is the villain, this is what they've been doing. It is the professor lady I was suspecting, but there's a big fucking twist of she's actually Dr. Savannah's daughter.
Oh.
It's like, really?
Shouldn't be a new villain?
I get it, but also you really didn't need to add that. She was fine enough as a villain on her own, because her motivation turns out to literally be, Daddy never paid attention to me, and nobody ever paid any attention to me. I had to constantly work to prove myself as a scientist, and now everybody will pay attention to me. And it's like, it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's kind of basic.
Yeah.
But she's still a solid enough design, and kind of gives me Missy vibes from Doctor Who. So I don't hate the character now, but it does just feel like it's slightly less cool than it could have been. But at least it leads into a very awesome transformation moment where um Georgia Savannah is her name, by the way. Um, is like, who are you? How are you going to stop me? Keep in mind, Mary's just in civilian form during this scene, and she goes, "Who am I? I am the throwaway daughter. I am the girl who was given a second chance at a family and love, the planner, the overachiever, the defender of the weak, and the new champion of the lost and the left behind. I am Shazam." And it is fucking awesome two-page spread of her transforming.
Nice.
And just she immediately hits Georgia Savannah with a giant bolt of lightning, and it destroys everything she's been doing. All the hypnotized people snap out of it, and also the little sister character whose name isn't coming to me right now, is there, and she unties everybody along with the fucking talking rabbit, and Mary is able to save the day. And then we get a bit of an obnoxious moment where the little adoptive sister is being interviewed by a news reporter along with all the other survivors. And the reporter is like, "What do you think of Miss Mar?" And then they cut it off, and she goes, "That's not her name. It's not Lady this or Girl that or whatever else you've been chanting. She's Shazam, just Shazam." And it's like, I get it. I get it. I really do. But I feel like comics are kind of past the point of needing to assert that, like, a female hero can just have the same name as a male hero and it's not a big deal. I
Yeah.
don't get why, in the last few issues specifically, we've had to go out of our way in this book to make that a thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially because this time when they do it, they fucking trample over Miss Marvel, which is ridiculous. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Um, and then we cut forward a couple weeks where they're all just hanging out in the house, and then something is happening outside. The fucking Lazarus rain starts pouring down, and Mary's like, "Oh God, what's happening? I gotta go help." And she transforms and flies off, and that's the end of the book. Is find out what happens next for the new champion of Shazam in Lazarus Planet. We once were gods, and I get it. You want this to be the new version of the character going forward. You want people to be excited about this and to know where to see more of this going forward. But this was a pretty self-contained mini. Did we really have to have it, like, suddenly add on a scene just to go, "Hey, read this event that's happening now because that's where she'll be next"? That feels, again, feels forced in a way that a lot of this book hadn't up until now. So overall, I like this last issue. The art in this book is still fucking gorgeous. Um, but it did end up being a bit of a rough ending, and I'm gonna have a hard time recommending this overall just because of, like, how grating it got towards the end and what a bit of a letdown the villain reveal ends up being. But
Yeah.
I like Mary having the powers going forward. And I do hope she gets more to do after this, as she clearly will.
Yeah. You also read Bane.
I read Batman One Bad Day, Bane #1 from Joshua Williamson. Uh, and this was okay.
Okay.
I again, this is an art style I didn't really love. Like, everybody just looks like they didn't skip leg. It looks like they skipped leg day. And I'm normally not a fan of those kind of art styles,
Mm-hmm.
but it works well enough for the story they're telling. And it has some fun, solid stuff in there. Like, it opens with Bane doing legit professional wrestling in his retirement from supervillainy. Uh, and then somebody shows up at his mansion and offers him Venom and goes like, "Hey, there's somebody making Venom again. I figured you might want some, give you a bit of an edge in the ring." And he's like, "No, I'm fucking off that. That's don't do drugs, kids. Get that away from me." But
Drugs don't
also,
do.
we have to find who made that shit and stop them so nobody else does drugs. We're gonna go on a road trip and I'm gonna tell you a lot of stories about my history with Batman. And we find out that in this universe, apparently at one point, Bane and Batman just decided to team up to destroy all the Venom in the world because Bane was like, "I'm fucking done with this shit." And it resulted in Batman getting killed, and Bane has blamed himself for it all these years. Except after they destroy this new batch of Venom, it turns out Batman is still alive and that he was like watching over Bane this whole time. And Bane is like, actually, when I broke your back, that was my one bad day. That was the worst day of my life because I've never been able to live up to it or do anything as cool since. And I kind of just want to go peacefully into the night now. And Batman's like, "All right, cool. Have a nice retirement." And that's the fucking book.
All right.
And it's like, that's an interesting idea. It does jive well with the fact that there's literally one good Bane story, but it's also just, it feels weirdly flippant and not entirely in keeping with the tone that these are supposed to go for. Um, so I think it's a solid done in one story. I don't know if it's a good one of these though.
Fair enough. I think that's just the problem with Bane. Like, you kind of just have to have him either be retired or a good guy.
Yeah.
Because his design is too hype. And what can he do? What can he do against Batman? You already did the big plan.
Hmm.
I read Deadpool #3.
Okay, well, you talk about Deadpool. I have to go refill my water glass because my throat is really dry.
Oh, you do that. So Deadpool. Uh, it's a continuation of the assassination plot stuff, and he goes. Okay, how to explain it? The girl he was crushing on at the assassination thing, basically saved him and is trying to keep him alive and try and figure out how to get rid of the Carnage thing. Doc Ock and the plant lady are teaming up, and Deadpool and the girl he has a crush on go on a date to the goddamn zoo for testing purposes, and the little Carnage that's inside of him is like being a bro and like helping him out, and it's cute and adorable. And I don't know, like part of me just goes like, "Yo, can this just be like a Deadpool status quo right now? Could that be what we do? That would be fun." Because hey, Deadpool gets 4 fucking arms. Why not? He gets multi-sword. The issue ends with the zoo being attacked. And yeah. Hello, I just finished wrapping up what happened in the story.
Oh, sick. It looks like Deadpool had a Spider-Man moment.
Deadpool has Carnage inside a little Carnage 2.0 in his system.
Oh,
But
yeah, that's right. I remember you telling me about that.
but like he's chill, the little Carnage, because like
He's just a little guy. He's
yeah,
just his buddy.
yeah, literally like because of reasons, Deadpool it has a crush on another assassin, and they're on a date at the zoo. And like the entire time, she's going like, "Oh, come, Deadpool, you're cute," and Deadpool acts like any guy getting a compliment. It's like, what? No, what do you mean? I'm what?
System error. System error.
Yeah, literally. And she goes like, "Oh, I just thought it'd be cute to see you gawk at animals." You keep using that word. And then they're basically sitting at a bench and having a cute like a very sweet moment, and then the little Carnage like head pops up and she's like messing with it to like test it and see what's happening and see its responses, and Deadpool starts talking to it and it goes, "Kiss." I don't think I want to kiss you, little buddy. And it just shakes its head and goes, "Oh, kiss." And he's like, "Oh, you're encouraging me to kiss her." Yes. Oh, little buddy. Like it's a dog trying to help you get laid. And then they start to lean in for a kiss, but then the bad guy shows up. And so the little Carnage helps out Deadpool.
That's fun.
It's
Love
cute.
that.
Yeah. You read GCPD, The Blue Wall.
Yeah, oh boy, this book just went from shit to fuck.
Oh, not to fuck the shit?
Yeah, so you know how I've been talking about how there's like a there's a brown guy on the police force and he's been having a lot of problems with bullying in this book?
Yeah.
He went full manifesto nut job.
Oh, no.
Like this whole book is about his slow descent while all the other characters are like trying to keep it together and going like, okay, we've been through some weird shit and we're all not exactly where we want it to be anymore, but we
We're
can
in
still make
Gotham.
this work. Like, Renee Montoya is all upset about like, oh, I let my fish die and there's been all this fucked up shit happening on the force. I was bugging Two-Face when I shouldn't have been, and I almost got in trouble for it. And her friends are like, "Don't worry about it. Here, to fucking try taking care of this dog. This dog might make you feel better." And it ends up helping her meet um another lesbian at the park, and they hit it off really well. And she's doing okay, and the two other cadets are trying to do all right. Um, Meanwhile, the fucking brown guy is like he's trying so hard to tell his dad like, no, it's okay, it's okay. I know they're just hazing me. It'll all be over soon. And his dad is super anti-cop. And like there's a moment at work where the guy is like, hey, I hope you don't mind. We've just been busting your balls. We're gonna be having a little get together at this cop bar in a couple nights. Why don't you come by? We'll have our like families there with us, and you can bring your dad and show him we're not that bad. And he's like, all right. And then they get there, and it's like a super fucking racist fake Mexican restaurant
Mm.
with like bowls of beans and rice out and dummies dressed up as mariachi bands and fucking welcome to America painted on one of the walls. And the dad is just immediately like, nope, nope. He nopes the fuck out. And the guy is trying to be like, look, I know it's just a dumb joke. They'll get over it. They'll see me as a regular person soon. It'll be fine. He's like, you're you're gonna take this shit after all the shit they put you through and the way I fucking raised you, that is pathetic. You need to get your shit together. Um, and so he goes off on his own and he fucking writes the Book of Monumental Truths, which is just a giant fucking manifesto about how the police force is fucking corrupt, and he's going to kill every cop in Gotham and everybody who's related to cops or is a former cop. And it starts with Renee Montoya's former cop brother and his wife. And he literally just goes, Renee Montoya, I declare war on you. And that's the end of the issue.
Oof.
It is a massive oh fuck moment. And I have no idea where the book's gonna go from here.
Lordy, lordy, lordy.
Yeah.
We both read Wasp.
Hey, this was pretty good.
Yeah. Wasp opens a bar for superheroes. Jarvis is there.
Mm-hmm. It really feels like it's just picking up right where Unstoppable Wasp left off. I mean, obviously a bit of time has passed, but it still feels like those versions of the characters. Which is so nice. The only really intrusive thing I think is the little mention of like, oh yeah, superheroes are illegal in New York right now, so I have to tell the Thunderbolts I'm using my powers.
It's fine. It also gives a reason for her to like. It shows her connections to the superhero community. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Like
that's what I think.
I'm
That's
not saying like it ruined the book for me or anything. I was just like, oh, that wouldn't have been here a few years ago.
but but it is also, it's just like that's kind of what I think the book is going to be going across is like Ant-Man was all about how Ant-Man are underestimated and can do great things. Wasp is about a similar aspect, but also how being friendly with other people just is a good thing to do,
Hmm.
and helping
About how
others.
both Janet and Nadia, because they kind of get equal screen time here, even though it is very much from Janet's perspective.
I
Um,
like also just how she just went, "You're my daughter. Fuck it." I
yeah,
haven't read any of this, so I don't know if that was established, but I just love. She's like, "Oh no, you're my daughter. Fuck it."
that was established, I think, at the end of the first arc of Unstoppable Wasp.
Okay.
Like I think literally that arc ends with because the whole thing in that arc is like aside from supervillain shit, the like subplot is Nadia is trying to get an American citizenship and she's having all this legal trouble. She calls Matt Murdock to help. Um and in the final scene of that arc, there's this really sweet moment where Janet's kind of left Nadia to sign the papers alone, and she comes up and goes like, hey, I don't have a last name, and it feels weird to use both my mother's maiden name and my dad's since they're both technically dead right now. Can I use yours? Is that okay?" And she's like, "Oh, sweetie, of course." And from there on, they're just kind of treated out as a mother-daughter thing.
Yeah, because
Um,
she's like, did Pym cheat and make her, or was it something else?
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
Did Hank Pym cheat, or was it something else?
All right, so originally Hank Pym was married to someone else in like his first couple of appearances, and then she just sort of mysteriously disappeared in order to make way for Janet. And then in the Unstoppable Wasp books, it was explained that Nadia is Hank's daughter from that first marriage, and that marriage was long assumed to have ended in tragedy. Like Hank thought his wife died in a car crash for years, but it turns out she was kidnapped by the Red Room. Because they knew they knew that she was pregnant and that the baby was going to be super smart because it was the child of two of the smartest scientists in the world, and so Nadia basically grew up in the Red Room, helping them do supervillain shit until she went, "Oh wait, my dad's a superhero. I'm getting the fuck out of
Oh, so
here."
she doesn't have any angst of like, why didn't you come for me, Dad?
No, she's kind of dealt with a lot of her dad angst already. In fact, I think that's why this is so specifically focused on her mom.
And it's very
Uh,
much like Janet is stepmom.
yeah. She's stepmom, and they're both very genial, but there is a bit of lingering of like, I wish I knew my real mom because her mom was immediately killed by the Red Room after she was
Yeah,
born.
and that's a fair assessment. When
Mhm.
is Hank Pym gonna come back to life?
I don't know. It's weird that they've let that stand this long, especially with how the MCU has kind of fixed him now.
Yeah, but Wasp is really good.
Yeah. Just solid playing off of established stuff with these characters and building a story that you're almost surprised hasn't happened already, dealing with Janet's long lost dad.
I am so thankful that the current crop of Marvel writers realize, oh, wait a second, we need to build off of what was already established instead of just creating a bunch of new stuff and expecting that to work.
Yeah.
Because Ewing's just been a king of that.
Like I was really surprised. I didn't expect him to like ignore stuff in Unstoppable Wasp, but the moment like I saw that girl logo, I was like, "Oh, wow, he's probably actually read that book." Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Next book.
Mhm.
We both read Punisher.
You take the lead on this for a second.
Um, so this is the second appearance of Aries this podcast, and boy howdy, this is a bloodbath. This is just a big fight issue of Punisher and Ares having a battle. That's all it is, with some flashbacks of the Hand going like, oh, the Punisher is probably our fist. Punisher's probably our leader. And them going like, here's the thing. He seems to be going into a family man direction. If he truly is our thing, we cannot push him into it. He has to walk into the door willingly.
I love Jason Aaron for doing that little fake out thing where you think he's going to completely retcon the Punisher's origin, and then he's going like, no, here's how all my little additions work with what we know already.
And it's basically of like, the Punisher is a broken man who is on the path of healing. He would have been a great dad. He would have fixed his problems. He would have had PTSD. He would have had CPT, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. He would have had those issues, but he would have been able to fix them. And then that one thing happened.
And now he's the worst man alive. He literally goes Super Saiyan through fucking demon powers to kill a god.
And Ares is so happy,
new god
though.
of war.
Ares is so happy. He's like, I'm so proud of you, Frank.
And Frank doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, get the hell out of my way.
Oh, and we also see a fucking few lines from his wife where she goes like, when I met Frank, he was dangerous. There was something there, and I was afraid, but and more, I was just in love and intrigued, and I fell in love with this dangerous man, and I realized he's something worse than the Punisher. He's my husband.
Yeah, we find out she is like just as broken as him now.
And like,
which is almost more terrifying, because you know there's going to be a fucking couples fight of those two versus Matt and Elektra.
Oh, that'd be great. I have a feeling that's what they're doing, so they could do that fight. But all the while, we have these cutaways of a bunch of different heroes, like talking about like, shit's going down with Frank. We've let this go on too long. And I love Captain America basically going like, he was a soldier and I thought he could be fixed. I realize now it's too late. Let's go fix our mistake. And it's like, oh, that's heartbreaking. Oh.
And at the same time, Moon Knight's just like, Punisher's up the fuckboy shit again, huh?
And we all have a team of Cap, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, and Wolverine all teaming up to go fucking fight the Punisher.
And the amazing thing is, like, I know they're all going to get their asses kicked. I know they're going to be made jobbers to make Matt taking the Punisher down look even more cool. But I'm so fucking here for it.
People will give shit for this Punisher run, but this is doing amazing, and like, it is looking at the Punisher in a very interesting way.
It's the first time I've ever been interested in the Punisher as a character outside of adaptations.
It's really good. Give this Punisher run a shot. It's solid. It treats the character exactly how I like him to be treated, which is a very sympathetic villain. You know, who can do good things every once in a while, but more often than not, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
We both read Batman Superman World's Finest.
All right, the final of the Boy Thunder arc.
Also known as Thy Will Be Done. Do you know why that's important?
I didn't even really think about it, to be honest.
It's a quote from the Bible.
I know it's a Bible quote, but I didn't know why it was important to this story specifically.
Thy will be done, my kingdom come. Wade's basically making his own prequel to Kingdom Come. I'm doing it before DC can. Fuck you.
That is pretty hilarious.
Because basically last issue revealed that Boy Thunder is Magog.
Yeah. A little bit. He's kind of a Magog. I can see it.
No, he is Magog. We see a flash forward of him being Magog from Kingdom Come.
Oh. I didn't even realize that.
which is the main bad guy from Kingdom Come. And at the end of this, he's in another dimension with Gog.
See, I knew that was somebody important. I just didn't recognize him. I was like, oh, that's some New Gods fucker.
He's
But see,
related to
that's the thing.
Magog.
That's the thing that I think makes this book great. Is like
You
me,
don't
somebody
even...
who no. Let me finish. Me, somebody who hasn't read Kingdom Come, I can just go like, oh, this is a really good kind of heartstring pulley superhero story. And then you, as the like fan who knows Mark Waid's other shit, can be like, oh, but it's so much deeper than that. Like, there's different levels you can enjoy this on.
He's a great bad guy in this. He's so, like, where the fuck has this guy been? Because this isn't a Mark Waid creation. He's been around.
Yeah, I think just nobody was really interested in using him because he's not a big name, but Mark Waid knows how to use semi-obscure characters.
This is just really good comic book shit.
hmm I love like the scene where you think he's gonna depower him and just send him away, and Superman's like, "No, we're better than that. We can figure out another way." And then he gets pulled away from him anyway. Oh, that is like I love the bittersweet nature of this whole story.
It's so good. Mark
Mhm.
Waid, goddamn, thank God for you writing comics again.
Like this book is beautiful, it's epic, it has these really heartstring pulley character beats, it builds into the wider DC universe, and it's also just capable of having really fun little moments here and there. Like next issue, we're finally getting the Robin and Supergirl date.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Like if I were to recommend anybody a current DC ongoing, I would probably point to this first if I didn't know like any specifics about their taste.
Oh yeah. Solid. It's good shit. We both read Namor.
Good old Namor. He's
I fucking love this issue of just Namor going like, man, I was a fuck boy.
yeah, this is just 22 pages of various characters going like, we fucked up. Our lives are a mess. What are we gonna do?
And then realizing, oh shit, we're all being had. Fuck.
hmm
We're all being fucked with. Oh no.
It it is such a solid issue. Like I went from being like, this book's all right to being like this is a brilliant fucking character study and it plays with the Marvel universe in such interesting ways. Like I fucking love this version of Jim Hammond cuz Jim Hammond has like barely been a character in modern comics because he's been dead for so long and whenever you flash back to him he's kind of just there for novelty factor.
He's there
But
to go,
here
he's there to point out like, oh look, we had a Human Torch before Johnny.
hmm But here you get what he's all about and how he's like trying to genuinely help people. And he has these interesting little debates with Namor where you can kind of see where both guys are coming from right up until it devolves into a shouting punching match.
And Namor, as soon as the punching match is done, Namor's like, oh fuck, why did I do that?
I am such a bitch
It's
is
so good.
literally what he should have said.
It's so
Uh
good.
by the way, just like the fucking design for the Human Torch in this issue is so good too. I love his fucking flame beard.
Oh yeah. I saw some complaints about the art. The art's great. I love the art in this.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's evocative, it does what it needs to do.
hmm
Um the only complaint I still have about this book is there should be a logo on this cover, guys. It should be a little question mark. It was designed by Chip Zdarsky, and it should say what if. This is a what if book. Namor, what if Atlantis took over the world? Like, guys, Marvel, can you please get on your shit. Do it right. That's all we have to say about the book.
You are gonna beat that dead horse for a while, aren't you?
Hey, Chip made a good logo. It deserves to be used.
Yeah, sure, I agree.
I also read Venom issue 15.
How's that?
It's
Adrenaline momentum.
it's basically um uh shit, I can't remember the kid's name. Eddie Brock's son, Dylan, fighting Bedlam, going like, "Oh shit, I understand what's going on. Dad, you're kind of fucked up right now. Man, I need to help you, don't I?" "Fuck off, Dylan. I'm angry right now because I am Bedlam." "All right, Dad, don't worry. I'm gonna get power, and then we're gonna fix your shit." "Oh, and that's kind of the issue. "Don't worry, Dad. We'll fix you."
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's well written, it's good, it's characterful, but that's kind of what happens. And that's all the books we read. Oh boy, aren't you excited? All the comic books we read.
Uh, you skipped one of mine, but I guess we can circle back and get it next week.
What is it? No, I could have swore I got it all.
Flash 791.
Ah, you're right. Fuck. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to end the show?
Uh, I mean, it was pretty good. I don't have a lot of different feelings on it from the last issue, where it's just like they're handling this really well. I don't buy that Iris is dead, but there's some cool sequences.
Nice.
A lot of wholesome Flash family stuff as they're getting ready to take on the baddies.
Hey,
Hey.
do you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Hey, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos about things and stuff. I just made a fucking video about how we understand the MCU better than you do, because you're all fucking dummies who don't read comics, and you should read comics. You can find that at youtube.com at the Vacuuminator. I'm also on Twitter at the Vacuuminator. I'm also on Tumblr, thevacuuminator.tumblr.com, and I'm also on Instagram posting action figure photography at _Vacuuminator.
Hell to the bells. Yes, bud. Hey, guess what? I'm going to go writer. I make a variety of content on the internet. I stream on Twitch, do a variety of things going down. I post stuff on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. I also post on Tumblr. Links to all of those are in the description. And I also make a variety of YouTube videos, and you can find the links to that in the description. Make video reviews of Common Writer Geeks, and I make video essays. Hey, Vac, are my videos okay? Because your videos are pretty dang good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. You know it's also pretty good? This podcast is pretty good. You can support us by commenting, and subscribing to Modular Media. And this has been Modular Media Surprise Podcast. Podcast we talk about comic books. But we also have other podcasts, such as Components, where we talk about a bunch of random shit that we just want to talk about during the week. We also have Twit. Tell the people about Twit.
It's the Tokusatsu podcast. It's pretty good. Also, don't forget Analytical Fanboys is back next week, everybody.
Analytical Fanboys? What's that? It's a podcast where we just pick a thing and force the others to read it, or watch it, or enjoy it in some way, and then we talk about it.
Ingest that media into your soul.
This month's episode is about Chainsaw Man, which I read in one night.
Oh, you read the whole fucking thing already?
Oh yeah, no, it's done. It's in here.
Okay.
All 97 chapters.
Sick.
But hey, like, comment, subscribe. Do you have anything else you want to say, Vac?
My throat's starting to hurt again, and I'm tired.
Enough said.